very powerful gals nonetheless. Very competitive. You're going to see the competitiveness come out in the Guatemalan team. And you have a little bit more experience from the Ecuadorian team. Really a toss-up here. Not sure which way it's going to go.
I have to agree. The Guatemalan team are the current junior world champions. And the Ecuadorian team have been established for many years, medalists around the IRF tournaments that we host. And I know Maria Paz Munoz has been injured for a little while, so it's great to see her back competing at this level. Guatemala represented by Martinez and Martinez. They are sisters. Gabby on the left is the younger one. Andrea on the right.
Recognizing our official today, Eleni Guzman from Mexico. Lines persons, Alejandro Morales and Jaime Martel, also from Mexico.
Line judges assist the official if there is a disagreement between the players and the official's decision. Good start from Ecuador. On the left, serving Veronica Sotomayor. On the right, Maria Paz Munoz.
Actually, Maria's coming off of an injury, so this is one of her first major tournaments back.
Beautiful pinch from Sotomayor. That's something she's built into her game over the last year. The other thing that has impressed me this week is her power. She's really hitting a lot harder than I saw her at the Pan Am Championships last year. Oh, wow, what a shot. Gabby Martinez on the left side. It's so difficult to execute. Hope you appreciate that wherever you're watching, and continue to share our feed around the world. It's been great to see so many of you commenting in our chat box.
Maria had a hip in labor problem, and she was out for a number of years, actually. Was part of the officiating team, the IRF officiating team, joined us for some events while she was not able to play, but looks like she's back and back strong.
2 quick points. Side out is the call. This is where the appeal system comes in. Let's see what the referees or the line judges decide. Both line judges agree with the side out. So in that situation, Gus, why is it an avoidable hinder?
The avoidable hinder is called because the player has taken away an offensive shot from the player that was going to strike the ball. The referee called that. It's also a safety-related issue. They don't want players hitting each other with the ball, or worse yet, with the racket.
Oh, great from Sotomayor. She chased it to the front wall. Wasn't sure what to do with it. In the end, got away with it. I think in that situation, Andrea has to push up knowing Sotomayor is there and kind of create that I formation rather than both players staying deep.
Yeah, so they don't stand a chance of getting that at all. Veronica from the Ecuadorian team and Gabriela from the Guatemalan team both played singles as well. In fact, they did play each other, and Gabby came out on top a little bit earlier this week. So they've had quite a few more matches than their teammates on the right side. But yet here they are. They're all athletes. They're very well trained. They're in good shape. And they're looking to get to the finals to play against Team Mexico tomorrow.
Sotomayor was a quarterfinalist, losing to Samantha Salas from Mexico. And Gabby Martinez was a semifinalist, losing to the other Mexican, Paola Longoria. Oh, what out. A smooth shot from Gabby Martinez. Gus, it's unusual to see the younger player controlling the points on a doubles team, but in this case, I think it's fair to say that Gabby on the left is the better player of these two.
Definitely, definitely. She's, I think, still has 2 years left in the juniors, and surprisingly how smart she plays. She is very well coached by Mr. Tom Travers, and she has been learning a lot from him.
Coach Travers was a little frustrated with the loss this morning to Samantha Salas. Said she made some poor decisions during that, just wasn't quite there today. Well, right now it's 2-2, Ecuador serving. Sotomayor goes to the left side. It's a good serve. Oh, but what hands from Munoz. Bent her knees, guided it into the front right side.
That soft shot is very, very tough to return because you actually don't hear it, you don't expect it. A lot of times the power shot just makes the ball come off the wall faster, giving you a better chance at getting it as long as it's not too low.
There was a situation where Sotomayor went to the right side and attacked what most would presume is the weaker player, catching Andrea Martinez by surprise. Smart shot from Munoz. She gets a better opportunity here. And Sotomayor buries it in the front wall. 5 serving 2. They're starting to pull away here.
That's a rule that a lot of actually current players and a lot of fans watching for the first time don't know, but if that wall comes off the ball comes off the back wall, goes to the front wall, that front wall is still in play. You're able to take it off and hit it again. As long as it doesn't bounce twice, the ball's still in play.
And that was a good shot from Andrea on the right side. That might give her a little confidence. She can play, and sometimes Gabby comes across and takes some of her shots. If you look at the percentage of shots taken, it will be in Gabby's favor.
Jammed her. Great shot.
Side out. Martinez sisters, 2 serving 5.
Has to be hard to play with your sibling. Must be a lot of pressure there.
And I think as well there's some dynamics where the younger sister is clearly the better player, having achieved a silver medal at the World Championships and a semifinal appearance here. It's got to be difficult recognizing that and playing second fiddle, so to speak, to your younger sister.
Asking for a replay that granted by the referee Guzman.
Reminder, we have 2 more matches coming to you tonight, men's doubles. Next one should be Bolivia, USA. It's going to be something else to witness. Mexico and USA. We saw, Mexico, try again, USA and Bolivia. The Bolivians won yesterday, you saw that, and they hit it so hard. But so do the U.S. pair of Bobby Horn and Jake Bradenbeck. So we look forward to watching that. We hope you stick with us to enjoy it as well. Better for Martinez. Sotomayor got stuck on the right side. Martinez went down the left. 3 serving 5.
That's actually a rule that's in the rule book that 2 players on the same team cannot hinder themselves, which is what occurred, and point went to Ecuador.
In our second double semifinal, we have Mexico and the Dominican Republic. The Dominican yesterday took out the Canadian pair of Castro and Landeryu in perhaps what some may consider a surprise, but the The duo of De Leon and Perez have been playing together for many, many years. Don't play on the professional tour, but sure will show some skills tonight. So we hope you stick with us for that as they face Mexico's Landa and Gutierrez. Martinez. Oh, that's just beautiful.
Laid that up. Such a nice touch.
And Gustavo, you noticed how when she ran up, she looked backwards. She was almost running backwards to see whether somebody was coming up with her. She knew there was no one there, and so it made it a lot easier than if somebody had followed her up to the front.
Makes it look very easy, but that's a very difficult shot.
There's a great shot from Martinez again, though, taking the ball off Andrea's side. We'll see that a lot this evening for serving 5.
Usually in doubles play, you have a more dominant player, typically the one on the left side, who will do the calling on the ball. And to make sure that there's no unattended balls, the decision is usually made by that player on who's going to take the shot, right or wrong.
Munoz. Sotomayor. Long rally. Nobody can put it down. Munoz up at the front. Let's see if she does the same. Oh, great get, Gabby Martinez. Oh, a little lucky from Gabby on the left side. She got tangled up, but you've still got to hit the front wall, and she did. Earned herself a point. 5 serving 5.
It's a demoralizing end to a very long rally for the Ecuadorian team. Yes, we see the communication is very strong from the senior players there. Maria Paz from Ecuador and Gaby from Guatemala. They tend to take more of the shots, and again, they'll sometimes take shots they shouldn't take, but in an effort to make sure that all shots are covered, they will hit it anyway. Then the players will talk about it and say, no, that was my shot. Next time you need to leave that.
Side out, 5 serving 5. I want to take a moment to remind you that you can see all the results and draws on our website. I'll post it in the chat box for you. So Team Ecuador take a timeout, 5 serving 5. We'll take a timeout ourselves, and we'll come back to see whether they can get some more points on the board. Timeout from Team Ecuador. During the timeout, we were talking about the avoidable hinder, which I think, Gus, is the most controversial rule in racquetball. Give us a little bit more information about the avoidable hinder and why we have so many appeals in those situations.
The avoidable hinder is very hard to call to begin with because it can be a replay hinder, and many a time the player obviously would like to get the call in their favor. It's a shot that would be straight into the front wall where they were being blocked of view. It becomes a safety issue there, or it is a shot that it would be going to the corners, opposite corners of the court. So again, it's a criteria that the referee has to make, and not necessarily because the player holds up is he or she going to give that avoidable to the player.
Terrific get. Gabby Martinez. Oh, such effort from her. She gave everything. You could hear her squeak as she hit the front floor.
The glass is 12 feet high. That ball was out over the glass. That would be a side out or half out. Ecuador serving 6-5.
I want to thank everybody who's watching wherever you are. We appreciate your support of international racquetball and all the shares you've given us and spreading the word. We've had such an increase in the interest in what we do here over the week, and we can't do it without your support.
Nice.
We also can't do it without the support of all the staff and officials and everybody who comes here to provide their time and service to the sport of racquetball. It truly is really deserving of their thanks, given the fact that they, take vacation time, come away from their jobs, whatever it may be, to provide us with this great coverage and great officiating all week.
There was a bit of a glare there, sister-to-sister glare on that last return. Gabby didn't see it come back at her. She didn't like how that ball came.
Sotomayor puts it in the floor. Also a quick thanks to everybody at home who supports us for allowing us to come here and contribute. Quick shout out to my wife, Tara Lee Baghurst, who's watching. Appreciate what you do and allowing us to come and participate in an event like this. Oh, Sotomayor. That was accidental. Gabby Martinez just swinging at the ball. Sotomayor's okay. Gustavo, we saw that yesterday with a men's doubles where Roland Keller got hit twice in the face with something like that. That highlights the importance of wearing eyewear.
Yeah, and that happened here again, and that would not be an avoidable hinder if she was not directly in front of her. She was not in the line of fire, so to speak, for the front wall. However, one still needs to be careful with some of those hits. One needs to know where the racket's going, where the position of the other players is in the court at all times. Beautiful serve there, crack serve. She's been practicing that, hitting it very well. That's a Tom Travers, Coach Travers special.
That a girl, he says. He also told me earlier this week, he said, you see this serve here? He said in 2 years, you're going to see everybody doing it. And why? Well, it's very effective. She gets a lot of aces from that. If it's done right, it's very, very difficult to return. Very difficult to return was that shot. Andrea Martinez will now serve at 7-6. This is a very, very tight first game, and it's one we kind of predicted, Gus.
No question. Either one of these teams can pull it out. That was a long serve. Second serve. Speaking of rule changes, we're trying to share with everybody how the rules have changed in the RF rule book. That's one of them. We're going to the 2 serves now in all matches. Used to be single serve. The 2 timeouts in all of the matches. 2 minutes between games, all games. And then the only other one that is 3 is the 3 appeals. There used to be a 5 appeal allowed, 5 appeals lost in the previous rules. But effective September, this all took place, and it's actually working out much better in my opinion. Keeps the game moving faster, more fluid.
There's an example of Gabby Martinez being maybe a little bit selfish, running across, trying to take that really high, skipping it into the floor. Andrea Martinez was probably better situated there. Great get from Munoz, stretching to reach that. And Andrea on the right side puts it in the floor. Her sister tells her to go to the ceiling next time. 7 serving 8.
No question, Gabby's the stronger player of the 2, but they win and lose as a team.
And then an apology there from Martinez.
Who was hit there? Paz? Maria Paz was hit? My goodness. Replay.
I believe it was Sotomayor.
I didn't see that.
And a skip from Munoz. You said, Gus, that they haven't played together for a while. And it's very tight here. You can feel the tension in the crowd. Lots of murmuring going on when there's a big skip or a great rollout. And that was just a terrific serve. Highlights how a second serve or a lob serve can be just as effective as a drive serve.
These players are so used to playing hard, hitting hard, that the lob serve is very effective because you get very anxious and want to just pound on it.
Side out. 8-8. Gabby Martinez trying to cover for her sister. Let's see if Guatemala can go on a run.
Yeah, that previous rally, the ball did hit Munoz. Maria Paz Munoz.
Point for Guatemala.
Stay tuned. Right after this, we have the Bolivia-USA men's doubles semifinal match. And the last match of the evening will be the Mexico-Dominican Republic men's doubles.
All right. Well, it looked like 2 bounces from here. Munoz is going to appeal this. Line judges to my left and right. Both line judges agree that Andrea Martinez was able to get her racket on that, get it to the front wall. So 10 serving 8. Still second server.
Beautiful shot. Reverse pinch to her side wall. Not expected by Maria Paz. They take a timeout. Ecuador timeout.
We'll take a timeout ourselves. That's the second and final timeout from Ecuador. We'll see if head coach Sludzy Munchik can do something to help them turn it around. We'll be right back. Welcome everybody back to the 2017 Pan Am Racquetball Championships here in Costa Rica. 6 beautiful courts. This is the main court. Standing room only around me. Gus, we've had such terrific support. It's been like this all week, whether Costa Rica are playing or not.
This is the 30th Pan American Racquetball Championship here. It started back in 1987. It was called Tournament of the Americas back then. It's been played every year except for 1 year. I'm not clear what year that was, but there was an event that took place that did not allow for the event to take place in the country. I will get back to you with that information.
So this is part of, excuse me, Gus, this is part of the Pan American Games qualifiers. Each year, these countries compete in the Pan American Championships and receive points that allow them to appear at the Pan American Games. And the reason this happens is because not every country qualifies for the Pan American Games. So it puts a lot of pressure on some of these countries to really scrape out some wins so that they can appear at the Pan American Games, which is a huge event, the second largest sporting event in the world behind the Olympics. And so some of these countries, maybe the smaller ones, are doing everything they can to get there. And it occurs each year. Points are awarded in total. And it also determines how many players are allowed to represent their country. So those who are, for example, Mexico, who dominated last year and are definitely in contention this year, they may be able to take 4 men and 4 women, whereas a smaller country, well, it doesn't matter which one, maybe they're only allowed to take 2 men and 2 women, and they have to play the singles and doubles. So certainly an advantage if they do well at these championships.
The next year's tournament, Pan American Games, will be most likely in Temuco, Chile. Pan American Racquetball Championships, excuse me. And the next year, we're not certain yet, but the actual qualifying for the Pan American Games, the Pan American Racquetball Championships, will be in 2019. It always occurs Easter week, the week prior to Easter, ending on the Saturday before Easter Sunday. (11-9) now. We have Guatemala leading Ecuador.
make that 12. During our timeout, I was checking some previous scores for Team Ecuador. They did play together last year's Pan Am Championships and last year's World Championships. So Munoz did have an injury, but it wasn't more than a few months. They lost, if we look at the World Championships, they lost to Bolivia in the quarterfinals, Ecuador. And in the Pan Am Championships, they lost to the USA in the semifinals. So they're really working hard right now because they want to get into that final. It would be huge for them to finally make it to that final. It's like Andrea Martinez, her lenses, maybe the nose piece fell off. She's just getting readjusted. Gabby Martinez points to her head. 12-9. Great serve, Martinez.
That was, I would have called that a screen. But the receiving player has the option there, and Sotomayor decided to take it.
Oh, Andrea Martinez, good cover. I don't think you can call that an avoidable hinder. What do you think, Gustavo?
I agree. I think she got out of being right in front of her, and she had the line. There was a holdup on Maria Paz's part, and I think that was good, a safety holdup, although she had, I think, a lot of room to take that shot.
But I'm not sure. It looks to me like an avoidable hinder was given because it's second server.
I don't agree with that call.
Ecuador did have an opportunity to appeal it. They didn't. And this is where Munoz needs to calm down. She's clearly upset by two calls. And a warning is given to Munoz for kind of her behavior following that decision. And it's good to see that our official from Mexico is keeping things under control. Ecuador do have, and indeed they do appeal. They have one more. Both line judges disagree with the official. So an avoidable hinder is awarded.
Two of them. The one
Sotomayor,
prior.
excuse me, go ahead.
No, the one prior and this one, both given avoidable, so.
So an appeal is not used in that situation, so one more remains. And that could be an avoidable hinder as well.
Thank you for that information. I've been informed to try to clarify a few things, but the referee should be making the call as to whether the ball was a good shot, skip, before they say side out, so that everyone understands what is taking place on the court. It really is up to the style the referee has in dictating or controlling the game. Many of us here are players, so we know what the call is without the call really being said. But in an effort to educate our fans and to teach more of the people watching how to play the game of racquetball, it's important that we make the correct call so everybody can hear them.
Well, Martinez on the right, I'm not sure she got that. There'll be an appeal from Ecuador again. They're asking for two bounces. One disagrees and one agrees. So the call stands. First game point for Guatemala. Gabby Martinez on the left waits. Sets up for her drive serve. It's a good one. And a great passing shot, Gabby Martinez. Ecuador find themselves in the hole, down 15-9 and 1-0. They've got 2 minutes to regroup. We'll see how they can do that, and we'll ask us what Sudzi Munchik, the head coach for Ecuador, needs to do during this timeout. Hope you stay with us. Game 2 here, this women's doubles, the second of this evening. Winner of this match will be taking on Mexico, who defeated the USA earlier in 2 straight. Guatemala won the first, 15-9. We'll see if Ecuador can rally and take this to a tiebreaker.
I would like to say that Gabby Martinez from Guatemala took control of that first game. Actually, from all the players, she led the way and showed us how well she's playing. 2 bounces. There's an appeal called.
What the appeal is here is that the ball hit the camera line going down the court.
A court hinder.
Call stands. So there are no designated court hinders, unlike some rules in racquetball in different federations, national countries. A lot of federations and countries will designate court hinders. You know, if it hits the light or it hits this, whatever, it's a court hinder automatically. Whereas in the IRF rules, there is an education where the referee, the official, is allowed to declare one when it happens.
That last point, Gabby was using that left front corner reverse pinch. She did that so well in game 1. She did it again here. Tries to short hop that. That was a smart shot, but came off the racket into the ground.
0-2. Oh, a serve.
Excellent serve.
Something that you have to practice, because if you get it wrong, the ball's coming right through the middle.
As that one did, but Sotomayor hit it up, and there's that reverse pinch again.
She makes it look so easy, Gustavo, and yet it's such a difficult shot. Beautiful from Munoz.
That's a replay. You saw both the players hold their hands up.
And Munoz is frustrated, but I think she's more frustrated with the fact that she knows it's the right call and wishes it wasn't. 2 serving 2.
Skip ball. Point Ecuador. 3-2.
This is what Ecuador wanted. First server. Change, Gustavo, is that Sotomayor is serving to the right side. What's the purpose there?
I think they're going to pressure Andrea here to see if she can handle that serve. Gabby was being quite effective returning, as she did there. Trying to put all the pressure on one player.
The challenge, though, is if you serve over to your partner's side, your partner has to get out of the way, because if she doesn't in this situation, you're looking at an avoidable hinder.
You take your partner out of the play.
Importance of communication with your partner so that they know you're serving to that side, whether it be a signal or something like that, to make sure they get out of the way. 6-2. This is much better from Ecuador.
Okay, we're here in Costa Rica, San Jose. This is our 30th Pan American Racquetball Championships. beautiful venue, Club Indoor. We are here for the total of 8 days. Actually started the tournament last Friday, the inauguration. Closing ceremonies, the finals will be tomorrow, Saturday. It's a lengthy tournament. We did have 1 day off. We're able to visit the volcanoes, the beaches, the beauty of what Costa Rica has to offer. Everybody had their own plans, and we had a beautiful day for that. Some of us got a little bit sunburnt, but we'll survive. And the Costa Rican Federation here has been a super host. The president of PARC is Senor Marcelo Gomez, and he has just been attentive to every detail that we've had to deal with here, including the shuttles, the food, all the amenities. We want to thank him for the effort the staff has put on. Thank you, Costa Rica.
Not to mention having the president of the country visiting and speaking at our opening ceremonies. That was something special for all of us. Here we are, though. We're in the second game. Guatemala won the first 15-9, but Ecuador seemed to have rallied here. Replay called. Again, Munoz doesn't like it. She's going to appeal.
She's requesting unavoidable, and it will repeat.
One line judge agrees, one disagrees. We've had a lot of that in this evening's match.
And that is an appeal used. You have a total of 3 appeals that you can use. You have to be very careful in their use.
40, excuse me, go ahead.
Once you're done with the appeals, you can be taken somewhat out of the game if the official makes a bad call.
Sotomayor up at the front, doesn't put it down. Andrea Martinez does. They took a timeout at Guatemala. They're now at 2 serving 6. She seems to be playing a little better, but they're still down 2-6.
Great serve. Great serve. Didn't crack, but it was an excellent serve.
Oh, that's terrific, Gabby Martinez. One of the things that I see from Ecuador is that they do play very much side to side, so they do leave that front court open a lot. Normally, Maria Paz Munoz is the one moving forward, but when both players stand up, a pinch like that, or stand back, excuse me, a pinch like that is really effective. Gustavo, we generally have 2 formations, and there's variations to both, but we do have 2 formations in doubles where we have what you're looking at in the back with Ecuador side to side, but then we have an I formation as well. What are kind of the advantages and disadvantages of both?
Well, I've seen the I formation can be quite effective when one of the players is stronger than the other, and I mean significantly stronger. As well, the size of the players has a lot to do with that. I believe that Gabriela and Andrea, the Guatemalan team, being as low to the ground as they are, that would not be so effective for them. They have to cover more ground. They're not able to reach as many balls as some players can. The I formation, of course, is you have one player in front of the other, and they are able to move in the direction that they so choose. Of course, they have practiced this and know that they will move in a certain direction when the ball is hit.
So often we'll have one player playing up and covering the front and one player covering behind.
Correct.
We also sometimes see it. Great shot there, again from Gabby Martinez. She's playing very well. We sometimes see it with injuries, for example. We'll have a player who's injured, and so they switch to an I formation so that the injured player is in the court. There's still a chance that team can win, but it's protecting that player from being attacked all the time by everybody going to that person.
Very hard to win doubles when you're playing as a singles player, regardless of how good you are.
But Gabby Martinez playing a lot of singles right now, and you can see why. Taking the majority of the shots, gets a side out. They're down 3-7. They need to go on a run here if they're going to take this second game. That's unlucky from Gabby Martinez, diving for it. Tried to flick it into the right corner. Second server. Ecuador holding their own right now.
Tried to surprise Veronica with that serve right down the middle. I don't know if that was a good call. Oh, that is an avoidable, a safety. Thank you for not swinging.
Yes, Gabby Martinez, I think, is probably saying that internally. She did acknowledge the hold up on that and didn't argue, nor should she. All groans or ooze from around the court. Players swinging a little wildly there. And Maria Paz Munoz puts it in the floor.
Very hard to short hop the ball. You have to be snapping that wrist. The racket speed has to be very fast. You have to be very confident when you're hitting those short hops.
Point scored. It didn't sound very good, but no argument from the 4 players on the court. 8-3 now for Ecuador.
The officials, when refereeing these matches, look for several things. One of them is the way the ball sounds coming off the front wall, and the other one is how it looks coming off the front wall.
Terrific serve, Munoz. Jam serve. Gustavo, can you explain a jam serve? What is it? What's its intention?
Well, the jam serve is to make the opposing player, the receiving player, have to hit the ball in front of their body, which is an awkward swing where the racket is right in front of your body and you don't have the extension that you need to properly swing. Used a lot. The ball's going away from you if you're chasing it, and it can be a very effective serve if you're not ready, if the receiving player is not ready for it. I've seen that used a lot during the tournament and other matches. It helps to be very powerful with it. There it is again. Made Gabby turn around and take the forehand, which she did quite successfully.
Looked like 2 bounces. Doesn't matter, doesn't reach the front wall. There was a situation where Gabby Martinez ran across to the right side. Ecuador had the opportunity to go to the left, which was wide open because Andrea hadn't made it over there. Instead, they went straight down the line. Looks like we have a timeout on the court. Guatemala taking it. It's 3-10. It's their final timeout. We'll take a break ourselves and be back as we continue game 2. And we're back at the 2017 Pan Am Championships. High drama here. We had 3 days of round robin to determine seedings for this single elimination. Single elimination has resulted in this women's semifinals doubles between Guatemala and Ecuador. Earlier this evening, Mexico advanced to the final. They're waiting to see who will win in this match. Guatemala took the first game 15-9. But Ecuador lead the second, 10-3. We wait for the crowd to silence. Great serve, Gabby Martinez, but good return from Sotomayor. Skip though from Gabby Martinez on the left side, second server.
Following this match, we have the men's doubles semifinals. Both sides of the draw. The first one will be Bolivia, USA. The second match will be Mexico, Dominican Republic. Both will be very exciting, fast-paced matches.
I can't wait particularly for that USA-Bolivia. We've seen the Bolivians just crushing the ball. We know that the U.S. pair of Braden Beck and Horn can do the same. So expect lightning fast reactions and crazy rallies. We hope you join us coming up right after this. Right after this might be a little while because currently it's Sotomayor and Munoz, the Ecuadorians, who lead 10-3. They want to take this to a tiebreaker. Players compete over 2 games, and if it's tied at 1 apiece, they play a tiebreaker third game to 11 points.
Tough shot, came right at her feet, right at Gabby's feet. From outside the court, it looks a lot easier than when one is inside actually playing. Ball is moving very fast.
Excellent serve. Maria Paz Munoz kicks out to the middle. Andrea couldn't move her feet quickly enough. Another point for Ecuador.
Maria has to be very careful with the drive service violation. That second red line on the right side. If any part of the racket or hand, the ball goes over it. If she's going down the right side with the drive serve, it would be a fault.
Excellent point. What you're referring to is the lines that go directly towards the front wall.
That is correct. Those lines parallel to the side wall. The first one is the double server box. The second line furthest in the court, that is the drive serve violation line. It's 3 feet from the side wall. And you cannot drive serve down either one of those sides and have the racket or any part of your body in that zone.
Skip ball from Guatemala. Side out, 12-3, 3 points away from this tiebreaker. A couple of reminders on rules that are international racquetball related. A serve begins when the ball is released from the hand. We see some players catching the ball, realizing that their opponent isn't ready. That's a false serve. So if it's done on the second serve, it's a side out.
That is correct.
One of the other rules, as you see Sotomayor standing in the service box over on the left side, she's allowed to move out of that area as soon as the serve commences. Another point.
Tough serve.
Hitting that jam serve, forcing Gabby Martinez over onto the right side. They may need to reconsider how they do that, allowing Andrea to hit that shot, because right now it's not working for Guatemala.
Even if she is able to return that, she's going to be totally out of position for the next shot. Gabriela will be. Nice. They have to be getting tired.
Terrific wide angle pass from Veronica Sotomayor. Surely an avoidable hinder is called. Guatemala doesn't like it. You can see they're going to appeal that decision. Both line judges that time agree. Guatemala use an appeal. They have 2 remaining. They're allowed, excuse me, they've used 2 now. They have a total of 3.
That serve that Sotomayor is hitting to the right can almost be considered avoidable.
So we've got a little discussion here with the official. She's clarifying she wants to appeal a 2 bounce call. She thought it, Munoz thought it was 2 bounces. At least that's my understanding with the hand signals. And the call's overturned, so 2 bounces it was. Good appeal. They don't use one. And Gustavo highlights the value of having line judges, given the fact that the official is trying to see 4 people playing. It's very difficult from their position in the back. It just helps to eliminate some of the simply incorrect calls, as we saw there.
Game point Ecuador now, 14-3. The official, as any official, does make mistakes, and they need to stick to their call. And that's where the line judges come in and can correct it if it is a bad or errant call. Ball's down. Good shot by Gabby. Side out.
Guatemala are still in this. She looks to her coach, Tom Travers. Much better pass from Sotomayor down the left side. Applause from the fans watching. Standing room only. Very humid environment, very hot with all the lights and audience here. As you said, ooh, wow. You heard the fans. Great shot for serving 14. Five serving 14.
Chipping away at the score here.
Rallies tend to be a lot longer in doubles, Gustavo, and while players may not be running around as much in singles, they do have to hit a lot more shots, which can be taxing on the body.
There really is no ball to be considered down in doubles unless it's a flat rollout.
So game point number 2, Sotomayor. Lob straight down the middle. Gabby will take this. Goes to the ceiling. Half out, saves another one. Finally, Ecuador take game 2, 15-5. It's been a long doubles match. It's going to get longer. We have a tiebreaker, unless we have an appeal here. Both line judges agree it's worth an appeal, but the call stands. So we're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll see which team will advance to the final. First to 11, Ecuador or Guatemala. Fans, all of us here are looking forward to this tiebreaker. First to 11, win by 1. Only 2 teams can advance to the final, Ecuador or Guatemala. Gustavo, during the timeout, we talked a little bit about what has changed. Guatemala won the first 15-9. Ecuador won the second 15-5. What is going on that's different, and what does each team need to do to close out this tiebreaker?
I think we saw in the first game that Gabriela had very few mistakes. She was very aggressive with her shots. She took control, as she's starting to do here, of the game, taking many shots her sister should have been taking, but being successful with them. The second game, we saw Maria Paz and Sotomayor start playing together as a team. And as I was saying earlier, it's very hard to beat a doubles team as a singles player. And I think that's what they were successful in doing in that second game.
Terrific from Gabby Martinez. It was a difficult shot, but she executed it well. For those not familiar with the sport, the team that serves first gets to choose whether to serve first. Can you clarify what I mean by that?
Well, there's a coin toss at the beginning. The team that wins the coin toss selects whether they serve the first game or they allow the opposing team to serve the first game. The tiebreaker will be served by the team that had the most points in either of the 2 previous games, which in this case was Guatemala. Excuse me, which was Ecuador.
So in that situation, a team can elect not to serve first in the tiebreaker because the team that serves first at the beginning of each game only gets one server.
That is correct.
Generally, though, most teams want to serve first. Ecuador did it. They got a point, but they're down 2-1 right now.
I think you always need to serve first in that tiebreaker because you want to get the momentum going your way. You want that first point. You want those first couple points to get the other team on the defensive.
And you can see there, Gabby Martinez running over to the right. She got stranded. Sotomayor wisely went down the left side. Side out, one serving two. Tiebreakers get so tense, Gustavo, and a lot of it comes down to mental strength and toughness rather than just the ability to hit great shots.
Nice get from Gabby. That came off the back wall unexpectedly.
Groans from around the crowd. Sotomayor diving for it, almost got it, not quite. Second server, 1-2.
Skip ball. I think this long match is going to play into the favor of the Mexican team, which won earlier today against the USA. Their match was very quick, 2 games. They're going to be obviously well rested or better rested. Whoever comes out of this victorious is going to be a little more tired.
We have mentioned that these are long tournaments, and if players aren't familiar with playing for 7 or 8 days, it can be quite draining. This will give Munoz a chance in the front wall. Oh, good cover that time from Andrea Martinez. And Munoz skips it. Really smart thinking from the right-sided Guatemalan. She ran up to cover that, handled it well.
We have quite a few sponsors for this event, including the Olympic Channel, Pan American, for the Pan American Racquetball Championships here in San Jose, Costa Rica.
Well, we've got a point here given. Munoz wants a discussion with the referee. She felt she was impeded, wasn't able to take a full swing because Andrea Martinez was so close to her behind her. So here's a discussion where the official says, what are you appealing? Because it needs to be clearly explained, and what are you asking for?
I agree wholeheartedly here with the obstruction of her swing by the Guatemalan player. Avoidable hinder. The call was reversed. Second serve.
Well, it looks like a replay rather than an avoidable hinder, but as a Ecuadorian player or coach, I would have asked a reappeal because you've won the replay hinder, but really they should have asked for an avoidable hinder because it did affect her ability to swing.
That is a clear rule in the rule book.
So in your opinion?
Missed call by the referee, and the coaches should have seen that and reappealed that.
Sotomayor. Munoz a little unsighted. Wild rally going on. And Sotomayor shows some class. 2 bounces down the sidewall. She's a great backhanded player. Well known for her backhand shot. Kind of uses both hands to guide it, almost as in tennis with a double backhand.
Perfectly legal shot to use both hands.
And another good shot from Sotomayor. She doesn't hit many pinches. That situation, she got one. 3, serving 2. We're almost an hour and 10 minutes into this match. It's been a really long one. Andrea Martinez, good shot down the right side. That should give her some confidence.
Our winners today, at the end of this 11-point game, will go to the final against Team Mexico, which won earlier today against the USA. We will be transmitting that as well live tomorrow. Short serve.
Just a mental
Out.
mistake from Munoz. So the first serve hit her partner Sotomayor. Sotomayor was in the correct spot, so it hit her, and she therefore gets a second serve. At least Munoz does. Munoz hits it short. Looks like we're appealing a short serve. Both line judges agree. So half out. We're still 2 serving 3. This has been a very long match and tiebreaker. Very tense on the court.
That was an appeal used by Guatemala.
There's an example, Gustavo, where a player hits so many shots over on one side and then they're having to hit a shot over on the other side and it's just uncomfortable.
You need to play your sides. You need to know how to play together as a team, and it becomes very uncomfortable when your teammate is starting to take your shots.
I think we'll have an appeal here. A replay was called. Guatemala are appealing, asking for an avoidable. Both line judges agree. So it should be second server.
And that will negate the appeal.
Or maybe
or
a
they're
replay.
Replaying.
Well, I thought that Munoz was right in her way.
I would agree with that. Again, similarly to the previous call, I would have appealed that again as avoidable.
And you can have that second appeal. 3 officials, all from Mexico. 2 skips in a row from Gabby Martinez. 5 serving 2. We have some Ecuadorian players and fans behind us in full voice. Great to see all the support each country get. Sotomayor.
Ball's down. Great backhand by Veronica Sotomayor.
Just a reminder, if you haven't, please do like our page, International Racquetball Federation. Follow us to get updates when we do stream. We also have a newsletter you can subscribe to. Just click on the button, IRF newsletter sign up on the left side of our page. We do appreciate your support and interest in what we're doing here at the IRF. 7-2. No timeouts from Guatemala. 8-2. 5 skips. It looks like Andrea Martinez takes a timeout. They'll discuss with Coach Tom Travers. Gabby Martinez walking out. That's interesting. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be back with you to see if Ecuador can close it out. 8 serving 2 is the score in this tiebreaker. First to 11, Tim Baghurst, joined by Gustavo Farrell. Gustavo, what a tiebreaker. Guatemala took the first game quite comfortably, and here we are with Ecuador. They raced to a second game 15-3 win. Now they're closing in on this match.
I think Gabriela Martinez from Guatemala has to be tired. She had 5 skips. She's had 5 skips so far in this tiebreak. She's played a lot of matches this tournament.
Fist pump from Sotomayor down the line. Martinez ran over to the right. The left was wide open. 2 points away from this victory. Just a reminder, coming up next, USA-Bolivia men's doubles. What a match that's going to be. So excited to be here and provide you coverage of that. Nervy shot from Munoz. Second server. We do hope you stick around for that. We're going to go straight into that after this match. We'll try and get it on court as quickly as possible, but it's high drama here. Everybody looking on through windows, balconies, you name it. And an ace serve from Munoz, jam serve. Look at where Gabby Martinez is standing, right in the middle. Andrea, her sister, is trying to talk to her, but stuck on the right.
Coach Travers is trying to get them to call a timeout. Not going to happen.
He sits back down. What's Sotomayor going to do here? I think that needs to be a replay.
I agree with you there. That's a safety replay.
We'll have an appeal from the Ecuadorian team. Wow, one line judge agrees and one disagrees. It looked like the straight down the line and cross court were wide open in that situation.
Certainly were. She was on the side wall, and Gabby was in center court.
Well, that's what makes it interesting. We have officials with different opinions, and I'm sure you do wherever you're watching. But while Guatemala, our second server, 2-10, they've still got a chance to stay in this. They need a lot of points, though, to get back into this. We have seen comebacks, though. Oh, good pickup from Gabby on the backcourt. Oh, but Munoz
puts it away.
Crushes one in the right. Fist pump from her. This is it. Game point number 2. 10 serving 2. Lob down the middle. And a skip from Munoz. That's a couple. Probably a little nervous. Ecuador haven't been in the final in recent memory. This is an opportunity to get there. Can
Off
hear a
the
pin
back
drop.
wall set up.
Oh, Martinez stays in it. The Martinez sisters, 2 serving 10.
Very, very confident to catch the ball in the air. I would not have done that till I was certain that the official had called that ball down.
Point for Guatemala. The Ecuadorian contingent are right behind me. You can see how nervous they are. This would be huge for that nation. Side out, excuse me, half out.
That was a skip ball into the
Andrea
corner.
Martinez to serve. Four serving 10. Munoz, 3 skips in the recent points. She composes herself, looks backwards. Here we go. That's better. You can see Gustavo. It's a mental game. She composed herself in between those points. Good result came from it.
She has to be very tired, as the other players are as well.
Match point number 3.
They need to close it out.
Great lob serve. Sotomayor off the back wall. Another look. This one's difficult. Oh, she did it very well indeed. So Sotomayor Munoz from Ecuador advanced to the final, having won the tiebreaker. Congratulations to them. My thanks to Gustavo Farrell for your commentary and input. Tim Baghurst signing off for a few minutes while we get the next doubles match up and away.